Karen.
And I'm Mike Lewis.
And so we were part of something that we had created called Married Life TV. But we are rebranding. I think we're going to change to Married for Life 91. 91 being the year that we got married. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, we had posted a question asking if it was cool for married people to hang out with single people, or should they just only hang out exclusively with other married people? Or
about married people or couples too.
Or couples, yeah, people in a relationship, right? Doesn't have to be just married people, but should they hang out with people in a relationship, or should they hang out with people who aren't in a relationship? And this all came about. My husband asked this question. Well, not asked this question, but he was, I guess, debating about it in his mind, and he asked me, and we didn't really get a chance to like dialogue about it. I don't know what we were doing, but anyway, we decided to come on and share our thoughts, and mainly his thoughts, because he was the one who had posed the question. So I'm gonna let him talk about why the question came up.
I don't even recall why the question came up. You couldn't hold it to my face, Shorty Rock.
My arm's hurt.
So I can't even recall why the question came up. But my thought was, I think a lot of marriages have to deal with this issue. Sure. And yeah, we're walking in the park, y'all. So there's a lot of marriages that have issues with one person in the marriage hanging out with single friends, or the wife or the husband, or the male or female in their relationship, or whoever, and it becoming a problem in the marriage.
Why would it be a problem though?
So here are my thoughts on that. I think it could be a problem because a person has to know their strengths and their weaknesses. I like to use a reference of back in the old days. If you have a castle back in the old days, they'll always build like a moat around the castle. And what that moat does is it protects the castle from anything outside that may be a detriment to that castle. So likewise, if you have a marriage, I think it's important to set up certain barriers around your marriage or relationship to protect that relationship. Case in point, you're a married man and you hanging out with your single buddies.
Time, 5 minutes. Distance, 0.23 miles.
That's our distance, y'all. She's still hanging in there. So you hang with your single friends, they run in the street doing what single men do. That can be a problem if you're not a strong enough person to be an influence on those single friends. So if you get in that environment, you actually become vulnerable if you're not strong enough. Now, if you're strong enough where you can influence those guys in a positive way and not be swayed, and cool, hang out with your single friends, and there should be a mix. But a lot of people don't have the capacity to be in that area, in that kind of environment, and not succumb to that environment. So in your marriage, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have lows. You're going to have times when you're relationships. You're going to be pissed off. You're going to be pissed off with that significant person in your life, and you're at a low at that point. So now you go choose to hang out with your buddies, and you were in the strip club or you wherever. You're more vulnerable because you're upset with your spouse at that time. That's just a temporary emotion, but you can make a decision that can cause long-lasting effect to that marriage. So I don't suggest people in a serious relationship mingling with single people until they're at that point where they can handle that kind of stuff and be a positive influence. And that's my take on it. What about you? What you think?
So, let me just say that if I'm hearing you correctly, You're not saying that people in a relationship shouldn't hang out with people who are not in a relationship. You're just saying that if you're in a predicament with people who have different, doing stuff that you don't do while you're in a relationship, you probably don't need to be hanging out with them. So I get it. So I think my take on it is very similar. Although one has to wonder, how many friends do you have that don't have the same mindset? So that is another argument in itself, right? Because your friends should pretty much have the same mindset that you do. And they shouldn't be doing all kind of wilding out stuff that you don't really partake in. So if you have friends who are doing stuff that you don't do, then you might want to check your friend base. Or, like he said, if it's something that's going to cause you some detrimental things to happen in your relationship, you may not want to hang with those friends or choose a different set of friends. I don't know, but like I said, we don't have a lot of single friends. Most of our friends are either in a relationship or married. We may have a few who were married and are no longer married and are probably in a relationship, but they don't have wilding out tendencies. So I agree with you, hun. And guys, thanks for watching. Drop us a comment and let us know what you think, all right, about what we said.